If everybody has their handouts, we'll get started in just a minute or so. If you don't have your handouts, come see me. All right. Thank you all for being here. If you don't know me, I am Emily Sears, and I'm the guide and registration leader for VBS. I've served in this role for several years now, but if I haven't worked with you before, I'm excited to spend the week together. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's a great theme this year, and there's a lot of energy behind all of it. So, and of course, we know that the Lord is at work. So, if you have not served as a guide before, I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit of what the role requires and just refresh you if you're a veteran. So, what is a VBS guide? You and another helper, whether you are in an older grade or a younger grade, everybody has two helpers. You might have a youth with you, and no other adult, but kindergarten has two adults in each group. You are going to lead a group of students around different areas of VBS, and we kind of went over that a little bit. You will be navigating the building to take kids from one rotation to another, and we'll go over the schedule here in a second, just to make sure everybody's clear on that. So you'll be in charge of where your kids are, making sure that they are staying calm in Bible story, and making sure that they get to rec on time, that kind of thing. You want to connect with them as best as you can. You are the face of VBS to these kids because they connect with you. You're the person that they see every day. You're the consistent throughout the morning. So you're going to be the person they probably remember most from the week, which is kind of a special responsibility that you have. You can make a big impact on somebody who is having a hard time leaving their mom when they get dropped off, or as they're saying goodbye to you in the afternoon, may set the trajectory of their afternoon. So thank you for serving in such a critical role. It's important that you're excited. If you're excited, they'll be excited. So make sure to get your coffee in the morning or get a good night's sleep just so that you're ready to go when the kids get here. And of course, why are we here? We're going to plant a seed. We want to show the love of Jesus to everyone that we encounter in the week, to each other, but also, most importantly, to the kids that are going to come into the building. So we've kind of gone over a little bit already of when we will be here, but just remember that we need to be here early so that we can receive the kids by 8:45. If you have kids of your own, make sure they're dropped off with their respective leader before you need to be in position. We want to do the same thing that we do on Monday through Thursday. We're going to do the same thing on Sunday as well. The squares that will be in here on Monday through Thursday will be replaced by chairs, but your role remains the same. I just want to emphasize it's important that you remember, even though it may look a little different, that you're still in charge of your kids. So this isn't really a normal Sunday where you might say, oh, there's my friend from life group, or, try to fellowship with one another. You're still in charge of your group. So if they're in your care, make sure that you are with your group the whole time. So that's just a little bit different on Sunday, looks a little different. But as we've done before in the past, when you check your kids in, they get their lanyard. When you check them out, they take off the lanyard. Make sure that the adult in the group is the one checking in and out. And we've put on your schedule a little reminder. You're going to have all of this on your clipboard when you get to your square in the morning. But if you will, make sure when they're dropped off with you, make sure they have their name tag on. As soon as they get their name tag on, they're in your care. If they don't have a lanyard on, then they should have been picked up. If they don't have a lanyard on that and they're not picked up, that's a problem. So we need to make sure that everybody's communicating, everybody's got the same system. Once they're checked in, if you will mark on your roster with a check mark or however you want to indicate that, the best way I've found to do it is to check, and then when they're checked out, I just mark through it with an X. So the check in is with the check out is with an X. And that's important, especially if we have a situation where we have to maybe evacuate the building. You want to make sure that you have a list of all the kids that you're supposed to have, whether we're outside in the front of the building, in the back of the building, just to make sure everybody is accounted for, including your youth. Okay, so make sure that all the leaders in your group are where they're supposed to be in an evacuation situation. Along with the clipboard that's going to be in your square at the beginning of the day, you'll have a backpack. It'll have a few Band-Aids, some stickers if you want to start rewarding kids for good behavior, or if they have maybe a runny nose, there will be tissues in there, a pack of wipes. If you need anything of those supplies throughout the morning, just find me and I'll have a bunch with me and I can replenish those as they get used up. You will have this schedule that's specific to your group on your clipboard, and we'll just run through that really quickly. This is roughly what we did last year, but I wanted to make sure you had a clear picture of when to use the bathroom and which restrooms your group will use. So groups 1 and 2 will use the atrium restrooms. Groups 3 and 4 will use the gym restrooms. So make sure that you go to the bathroom with your group when you're supposed to go and go to the right place, because that's a lot of people to get through 4 stalls at a time. And if we have an extra group in a place they're not supposed to be, that clogs up the system. Okay, so just make sure that groups 1 and 2 use the atrium, groups 3 and 4 use the gym bathrooms. We will have people from the safety team helping kind of facilitate that as we go throughout the morning. So if you are a female guide, we will have male helpers to help you get the boys through the bathroom, obviously. So just make sure, like for kindergarten, they have 2 bathroom breaks. Don't go to the bathroom if it's not your bathroom break. Okay, there will be times where, let's say you're in Bible story or snack, and one child needs to use the bathroom. That's okay, but you need to make sure that you find a security person in the hallway, and there are 2 adults with each child who's using the bathroom, as you go from a breakout or a rotation, to make sure that there are 2 adults at the bathroom if there's just one kid. So we'll make sure that we have support for you to be able to do that as we go throughout the morning. Another thing that is important about the schedule, everybody generally goes from crafts to music, unless it's your last session and you'll just come from crafts into the sanctuary anyway. But youth, this is really important for you all to do to help carry all of the things that they might take home, bring them into the sanctuary, and try to keep them somewhat orderly, so when we're ready to dismiss, we're not scrambling to find so-and-so's craft. So if you have a system that you want to come up with to put them out in a way that you can easily identify whose craft is whose, that'll help checkout go a lot faster. But it should be pretty easy because you're coming in here from crafts and science to music. So as you transport your kids, you can also transport the craft. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. We will make sure on your roster, if you have any kids with special needs, allergies, that will all be easily recognizable on your roster, so that if you have an issue or there's something that comes up, we can make sure to respond appropriately if there's special accommodations that need to be made. And if there's, I will try to help you know that ahead of time also if there's going to be anything like that in your group. Youth helpers, please stay with your group the whole time. If you want to take a break, and this kind of goes for everyone, but generally, if you want to take breaks in the volunteer refreshment room, try not to go all at once. So we don't want to have all the third grade leaders in the break room at the same time. So try to kind of stagger it with the people in your group. Music is a great time to go to the volunteer refreshment room, but we want you to also be participating with the kids during music, because if you're dancing and singing and doing the hand motions, then they're more likely to do it too. So if you're all in the volunteer refreshment room, they don't see you doing that. So we want to make sure that we are being a good example for the kids, but we want you all to have a good time and be able to take a break too. So just try to stagger that as we go throughout the morning. Look for ways to help, and not, for example, we want to help in crafts. We don't want to do our own craft. So just look for ways that you can be a help to the kids throughout the morning, as we go throughout each rotation. We've kind of covered inflatables already, but in the main session, but they are sort of fragile. So don't let the kids kind of climb all over you. If one of the leaders sees that going on, kind of put a stop to the rough housing with the inflatables. And then lastly, if you have anybody in your group who wants to go through decision counseling, you stay with your group, and one of the leadership team or the safety team will help escort them to the decision counseling. So you stay with the majority of the kids, and we'll take the small number when and where they need to go. So to recap security, the bathroom breaks are adults only, 2 adults per child. The safety team will be available. Make sure that you are checking for family codes when you check out kids. And that may be something that you just want to reiterate when they drop them off in the morning. Say, make sure you bring your family number when you come back, just so that'll help keep things moving as smoothly as possible. And my number is there at the bottom, the 502-649-9355. If you need a sub, please text me as soon as you know, so that we can put the right people in to your spot. We do have a couple of subs that are going to be flex helpers, so we will be able to fill your spots hopefully as quickly as possible if you know you'll be out that morning. So, are there any questions? Kathy? No. Right, and we will try, if I will get the list from Angela, and we'll try to either put a security person with your group. We will have rec people who are not doing anything at dismissal, so there are people who will be around, that we can try to keep filling those spots but there won't be an extra guide specifically. But that does remind me also, for the extra people at the end of the day, if you have your own kids, or if you're a guide who has volunteer kids in your group, Faith and Brooke, who are the mission team, they will be collecting all of those kids and taking them to where they need to go. So you don't need to worry about, oh my goodness, I have so-and-so's kid in my group, but they're serving in preschool and I can't leave. That, it kind of clogs up the morning. So we'll make sure that they can pick up the volunteer kids and get them where they're supposed to go. So we have a lot of different people who have a specific role for a specific time, but we're trying to make them available and helpful. So I'll make a note to make sure I know who the youth guides are in the inflatables. Great question. Anything else? Yeah, Dave. There will be 20 max in each group. We don't anticipate filling up. So, I, yes, yeah, yeah. And I don't have numbers off the top of my head, but I don't know if they're half full yet. But we still have a little while left until registration's closed. So, and kindergarten's only 12. I think we went over that before. Anything else? Any returning guides? Remember something that I've forgotten to mention? Okay. Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys for being guides because you're the ones that the kids are really going to get to know, and you're the ones that are going to make an impression on the parents at drop off. Like, you are truly representing not just Crestwood Baptist, but the Lord. So thank you for doing that for these kids and pouring into them. Our prayer is by splitting the groups up and making the numbers smaller, that you could have more intentional time, more one-on-one time to really pour into these kids and get to know them. And I'm sure Emily already said all this, but you're so important as a guide. So thank you so much. And just any help that you can give the kiddos when they're in their breakouts, especially like missions, Bible, craft, your hands are invaluable. So thank you for that as well. If you have any kids who you just cannot, come find me and I'll have a one-on-one with them. I don't want you guys to be miserable if you have a squirrely cat in your group, and you're so I will help as much as I can, or I'll talk to the parents or whatever I need to do. But I'm here to help you, so don't hesitate to reach out. And if there's something that you can think of along the week that would be more beneficial, like, can we try this? Can we do this? Come and find us after all the kids are picked up. Let us know. We're happy to make adjustments. We always want to continue to improve. I mean, I do have an industrial engineering degree, so continuous improvement is kind of what I've really learned to do. I'd like to use that. So allow me the opportunity to just continue to improve every step of the way and make it even better. We try to make it even better every year. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for serving. I'm just so grateful for y'all.
One other quick thing about how the flow of the morning will go. As you receive kids and you've checked them in on your roster, while we're doing the opening ceremony, I'll come around and take a picture of your clipboard so that I can take attendance. So just be looking for me as I come around. I try to do that as quickly and discreetly as possible without making a huge disruption. But if you want to make just a quick little note to your group before you break out, especially on the first day, but it may take maybe the second day or third too, but to just set some expectations and say we're going to stick together as a group, lay out your ground rules basically. That may help keep those squirrely ones in check, maybe just to let them know this is how we do things around here. And then if there's anything you need throughout the morning, I'll have a radio. I can get in touch with anybody you need, if it's a medical emergency or I don't know, if there's anything that comes up, I'll get you in touch with the right person. So I'll wear this shirt every day and try to wash it every day and make sure that you have what you need. So if I can be of any help, I'm a resource for you all. And if you think of anything leading up to VBS, text me, call me. You've got my info on the sheet. And I really appreciate all of you. Thank you.
One more thing. thing that I'll harp on with the kids, I have 2 rules that I tell them are non-negotiables. Stay in your square and do not take off your lanyard. So if you would help me to reiterate that with them, those are super important. So I'll try to reiterate those throughout the week. Stay in your square, do not take off your lanyard. And just in case people get creative on day 1 and try to put kids in different groups, that's happened before. Please don't allow that. Tell them to come find someone in an orange shirt if they have questions, but don't take any kids that you don't have their name tag in your square, because then we go into full panic mode and lock the place down. It is a big deal. These parents don't think about that, but it's a super big deal for us. So tell them to come find us. And, you don't have to be the bad guy. Just shoo them off to us, and we'll take care of it. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. We are so excited.